Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big League Dreaming, the podcast, a show about baseball, dreams, and family. I'm John Gonzalez, the dad, and once again, we are talking baseball with two of the three sons. If you're new to Big League Dreaming, the podcast, it's a show about a dad and his three sons talking about the game they love. Joining us today on the podcast is son number one, Zak Gonzalez from Charlotte, North Carolina. Zak, how you doing over there?
I'm doing great. Sorry we missed everyone last Saturday. I was getting over a cold. Still am, I guess. But yeah, glad to get back talking baseball again.
Talking baseball, but you got your Spartan green on there because you're getting ready for tonight's big game, and that's awesome. Obviously, by the time this podcast drops, you're either going to be very happy or very sad.
Yes. Well, I hope with that they can get through the first weekend. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool. Although they're going to win the whole thing, I heard this year. Joining us from Grand Rapids, Michigan, son number two, Ty Gonzalez. He's the Mets fan. Ty, how you doing over there?
I'm doing great. Glad baseball started up this week. It was fun to watch a couple games early in the morning, getting ready for the season.
Yeah, we're both morning people, so I guess Zach is too nowadays. But so it was no big deal to turn on the game at 6 o'clock in the morning and say, yeah, we're playing baseball. That was fun.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was right when I was starting work, so it was perfect.
Perfect for you. Son number three is our Red Sox fan. He is not available today. I believe he's on a bus heading to a game today, right, Zach?
Yeah, I think they're playing at St. Xavier today, out close to Chicago. So they have a doubleheader today at 2:30 Eastern. So hopefully they can pull off 2 wins today.
The team's about 500 this year. I think they're doing well. I think they're having off to a good start. So we're rooting for the Indiana University of South Bend Titans. Go Titans, an NAIA school. And Zane, son number three, is the associate head coach and pitching and recruiting coordinator for them. So, all right, let's get. We talked a little bit about Tokyo and the start of the MLB season. Zach, do you have any takeaways from the first two games? Dodgers won both handily, easily, I would say, for the most part, and look like to be Dodgers dominant as everyone predicts here for 2025.
Yeah, I mean, Ohtani homered, so that's all MLB could ask for. But yeah, it was cool to watch a little bit of baseball a week before opening day comes on Thursday, March 27th. I know the viewership was up like crazy. I think I saw one in every five people in Japan were tuned in to the games in Japan. So the viewership of households watching those games in Japan was through the roof, more than Grammys, NBA Finals, and a whole bunch of things here in the United States. But a fun thing that I saw was that Fanatics, you know how they came out with those special gear, like the pink flowers on Dodgers, and then Cubs had their own with the flowers, I think. They sold $40 million worth of merchandise for the Tokyo series, which is the best-selling event in Fanatics history. Crazy.
The fandom is crazy, but it's good for baseball to have that international flavor. And some of the game's biggest stars, obviously with Shohei Ohtani taking the main stage. I mean, 50-50 was an incredible year last year for him. So it's just fitting that the biggest star in the game kicked off the season in Tokyo. Ty, I know you watched a little bit. You were talking about a few seconds. And folks, by the way, we will get to our predictions for the 2025 season here in a moment, but we want to wrap up a few thoughts on the Tokyo series. Ty, you did watch. What did you think?
Yeah, so that Fanatic stat, what is that, like a 1 month's worth of Ohtani salary?
Or one at bat?
Yeah, one at bat. I liked watching it. I actually got to watch it a lot more. Having them early like that. I wish all the games were early like that. But the first game I saw Ohtani, I knew he was going to hit a home run before the series was over, because I don't know how closely you guys watched his at bats, but he was swinging at everything. I think he just wanted to hit a home run, because they're like one of his at bats, he swung at two terrible curveballs in the dirt, and AJ Pierzynski was like, and Benetti was the other announcer, so that was kind of fun to see those two guys announcing. But Benetti's like, "What do you think? Fastball up?" And Pierzynski's like, "Throw him another curveball in the dirt. He's swinging at everything." Sure enough, they throw him a fastball up, and he just hit a little single through the infield. But it was really fun watching the Tokyo series. At first, I was a little skeptical when they did it. I was texting one of my buddies like, "Why are they doing this? 10 days before opening day. This is weird. I don't like it." But I hope they do it again and they continue to do it. I think they started it with a few years back when Ichiro retired, right? Zach, wasn't that the first time they did it?
They've done it intermittently over the years. I think there was like a Mets game. I remember Mike Piazza was out in Japan, 99 or something like that. So they do it here and there, but definitely in the last like 5 years, they've really ramped it up with a couple international games before opening day.
I know I watched the first game quite a bit. The second game I meant to watch, but I got delayed for a little bit. Couldn't quite make it there. I think I had physical therapy. My pitching arm's a little out of whack right now, so I'm doing some rehab work for it. Um, hey, 30 years of batting practice, it takes its toll. So anyway, I missed Sasaki pitching, and I didn't get to see him a lot. I did hear from some of the clips and some of the people out there, the talking heads that talk about baseball, that he was pretty amped up. Ty, did you notice that about him? Because he hit a lot of walks, right?
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to mention. He looked like he was just, I don't know, just a little excited because he was throwing a lot of balls, a lot of walks, and his fastball, he was leaving like right over the heart of the plate. I mean, a few of the pitches, it's like 98 right down the middle, just right there for you. So I think he was just kind of nerves maybe. Yeah, but 5 walks in 3 innings is never good.
Zach, did you watch him pitch at all?
Only the clips that I saw on Twitter. I didn't get to watch him start that game. But it was super cool that 3 of the 4 starting pitchers for those two games were Japanese pitchers. So I think that was pretty special.
Yeah, it was a historic series, no doubt about it. And I think we're going to reflect back on this in years to come. Like when you guys are much older and talking to your kids about baseball, you're like, yeah, I remember that Tokyo series, right? Because that Otani is that kind of player. We don't know about Sasaki yet, Yamamoto. We don't know how the long range projection is, but for Otani, the sky's the limit, right? I mean, this is a once in a generational player, so that's cool. We'll have those memories to talk about him. Before we wrap it up, did you happen to catch any of like the things going on at the stadium and the culture of baseball in Japan? Did you watch any of that stuff or catch anything? Did anything catch you by interest regarding that?
I honestly didn't catch much of that. So I had the game on at work while I was working through my speaker, and I kind of just waited for the gameplay to start. I was doing some other things, so I didn't really see like any in between inning stuff very much.
Right. How about you, Zach? Same thing.
So I saw on Twitter like I don't know if you've heard of the beer girls
that's
at Japanese
that's what I was going to
games,
bring up.
but
Yes.
yeah, I saw some pictures of that, which is super hilarious to me. I
So
think it's really funny.
So
What is that?
they had one of the beer girls pour a pint for in the crowd. So instead of having a beer guy, where they're cracking open the beers, like you Ty, right, free beer or cold beer,
Yeah.
classic Ty, cold beer. They have these girls, these young women who carry like a backpack, and it's like a keg. So it's a draft beer they're pouring for you instead of just
What?
cracking open the can. Yeah, yeah. So I love that. And they were like talking on the broadcast, like, well, I wonder if Major League Baseball would do this. I'm like, that's such a great idea, right? Pour a cold draft right in front of you at your seat, as opposed to like having someone hand you a can down the road. I don't know.
Yeah.
They
How
did
many?
like
How,
a They did like a special on that. They did like a little, I don't know, 10-minute thing about the history of it. I remember seeing that like a year ago about how these people in the stands have their favorite girl and like they won't buy a beer from certain girls. They'll only go to like the one girl that pours them because they get like bonuses or tips or whatever on how many like ounces they pour and things like that. It's like a huge like culture
yeah.
of like, no, I only want to go to this one beer girl. Like I have to sit in that section, so I have her.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So I enjoyed that. I mean, why not? I mean, if it worked there, it could probably work in the USA. Um, all right. Well, we're going to start the season. It's coming up, next week, right, Zach?
Thursday,
Thursday.
27th, opening day. Yep.
My Tigers open up at Dodgers, so hoping I'm hoping for at least one win in that series.
Yeah, everybody's off on Wednesday, the 26th, kind of travel day. Half of the league has spring training games on the 25th, but the other half, they get the 2 days off. But there are a couple exhibition games. For example, the Reds are playing at the Dayton Dragons on Tuesday, the 25th, and then the Red Sox are playing in Monterrey, Mexico, Dad, Monday and Tuesday against the Monterrey Sultanes, who went to the championship and lost in the Mexican League last year. So they'll play Monday, Tuesday night in Monterrey, Mexico, the Red Sox.
Might have to catch a flight and go to Monterey. That'd be a lot of fun. We should do that on our next trip outing, right?
Yeah, there you go. That's the next trip.
International games somewhere. All right. Well, and your Mariners open up against who, Zach?
The Athletics is what they're called.
The Athletics.
The Athletics, yeah. They have a three-gamer at home before welcoming the Detroit Tigers. So they'll miss Jack Flaherty, but they'll probably have to catch Skubal on that third game, I would think.
Probably, yeah. That'll be good. Two tough series for the Tigers out the gate. And Ty, I can't remember who the Mets play or the Red Sox, who they open up with for Zane. I'll have to look that one up. But you're pretty excited about the new Mets season with Juan Soto, right?
Yeah, I am. I was just gonna say, I'll give you the answers to those questions. For me, doesn't matter. They're getting the sweep. For Zane's answer, doesn't matter. They're losing all three.
Wow.
Mets are in Houston. The Red Sox are in Texas Rangers.
Texas,
both in Texas.
Texas is supposed to be a little bit better this year. I've read some of the predictions out there, and a lot of people are expecting that team to come back after falling down after winning the World Series and just not even going anywhere in 2024. So people are projecting the Rangers will have a little bit of a rebound in 2025. Speaking of projections and predictions, I guess we'll start with Zach. You want to give us your thoughts on AL, NL winners and wild cards?
Yeah, I have. I feel like we can kind of just skip over the NL West because the Dodgers are the Dodgers. NL Central, it was tight between the Cubs and the Brewers for me. I went with the Cubs winning the NL Central. I think acquiring Tucker, Kyle Tucker he's just so good. He's haunted me so many years in Houston, so I'm glad to see him go and get out of the West, AL West. So I'm going with the Cubs for the Central. NL East was between the Braves and the Phillies for me. I went with the Braves. I think having Spencer Strider back, and then Spencer Schwellenbach is a young starting pitcher for the Braves who's super good. So I went with the Braves for the NL East. AL West, I picked the Mariners over the Rangers. Rangers are I'm very scared of the Rangers this year with Wyatt Langford and those young pitchers, Leiter and Kumar Rocker, on the way. AL Central, I picked the Twins over the Tigers. Sorry, Dad.
That's all right.
I think if they have health on their side and they have a good pitching staff, Twins will be there. AL East, I picked the Red Sox. I got Dodgers over Padres, Mariners over Red Sox, and then the Dodgers winning the World Series over the Mariners.
Wow. I like it. Our picks are pretty similar, but we'll go to Ty next and find out who he likes in both the AL and NL in the 2025 season here on Big League Dreaming, the podcast.
Well, I didn't go that in depth with my predictions, like when I was texting you guys earlier about teams and stuff, because I feel like a lot of the predictions are going to be Dodgers making it back to the World Series. I went with a little bit different route with my prediction. I'm going to make an award prediction for this year, and it's going to be the NL MVP. And this might shock you both because I've kind of been on edge about it lately, but I think Juan Soto is going to win the MVP.
Wow.
I found an interesting article. I'm going to have to share it with both of you. But the Mets are one of 3 teams that have never had an MVP.
That's interesting.
The other 2 our expansion teams, Diamondbacks and Rays. Every other team has had an MVP until now. Juan Soto, I think he's going to win the MVP over Ohtani. And another stat I found was Citi Field is one of the best parks he hits in.
Oh, without a doubt, it's going to be a monster year for Juan Soto there in New York.
So that's my prediction for the season this year.
Yeah,
Juan Soto, MVP.
I like it. So then the Mets for the World Series too, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, I'm kind of in the middle of both of you guys for the most part. So I'm going to go. This is going to surprise both of you, probably Zach more. I went Red Sox, Twins, Rangers in the American League, which is hard. I know.
That's close.
Red Sox, Twins, Rangers, crazy, and then Mariners, Rays, and A's in the wild card. I think the A's are gonna surprise some people this year, and make the wild card round. No Tigers in it this year. There's too many question marks. Other than Scooble, the rest are all question marks for me. But I'm happy. I'll be happy if the Tigers can make the playoffs 2 years in a row. That's bonus, right? They're still, to me, rebuilding. And then we've got, or building, I should say, not rebuilding. And then we've got in the NL, Braves. I went with Brewers in the NL Central, and Dodgers, of course. And then wild card, Cubs, Phillies, and Mets. And then I hadn't gone to like who was going to win in these divisions. So I guess I'll make my prediction right now. I'm going to go Red Sox coming out of the American League and Dodgers coming out of the National League, with the Dodgers winning it all. So those are my predictions, Zach. A little surprising?
The Athletics over the Royals is very surprising.
Yeah. I've debated that one. Royals are going to have a good year too. Hopefully just not that good. I want the Tigers to be in there, I really do, and I'm looking forward to a full season there. But I just don't know how. It just seems to be third base never got settled for the Tigers. You know, they're having Spencer Torkelson try outfield, Javi Baez play a little third. There seems to be too many interchangeable parts. You know how perfect you have to be consistent in baseball to win playing that game. So it's going to be tough for the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Bobby Witt Jr. will have an MVP season. I think the Royals will be very good. They'll probably get a wild card because that Central is pretty even. I feel like they'll all get a good amount of wins potentially. But yeah, the Rangers scare me for sure.
Yeah, you should be scared. I think they're going to have a great year. All right, well, I guess that's about it for Big League Dream, the podcast. Thanks for joining us here on another episode. We'll be back next week where we drop new episodes every Saturday morning. Zach, if people want to follow us on the social channels, where can they go?
Everybody can follow us on Twitter X. That's at BLDpod, at BLDPOD. You can follow us on our YouTube channel. Just search Big League Dreaming, the podcast. And you can find our podcast on all podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast.
And we have not had a guest on it in a while, so if you have any ideas for guests for us, feel free to email us, bigleaguedreaming@gmail.com, and we will see what we can do. But, yeah, we should bring back a guest as we start the season. I know we've been talking offline, texting back and forth who would make a great guest, but I think we just get whoever's available, really, at this point. So, all right, thanks, everyone, for joining the show. Anything else you want to add, Zach?
Oh, thanks for listening, everybody.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
Take care, everyone. Bye.